Good evening, Sally. Well, fine, thank you.
Good,
Thank
good,
you.
good, good. Nice to see you all.
Nice
Wow,
to
I
see
can't
you
believe
too.
it is Thursday already. I swear to God, these weeks are going so fast. It's crazy. I'm literally like, we're nearly halfway through the year. It's so crazy. So, guys, welcome. Nice to see you all. Please remember that this is a mixed ability. So obviously, welcome, Paul. Welcome, welcome. Um, so basically, for those of you who are new, we have a mixed ability here tonight. So obviously, it's not ability, but some people are seasoned pros at Amazon, and obviously, some people are still learning. So please don't think there is any question that's a bad question. If you haven't managed to start the course yet, I know, Paul, you are one of our new starters. Don't worry at all. You can just listen. You can keep your camera off. You can put your camera on. I really don't mind. But if you do have any questions, you can also pop them in the chat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with just a couple of kind of housekeeping rules. Obviously, if there is something that you desperately want to say, just put your hand up, put it in the chat, and I will come to you. If I'm on a subject, I'll just finish it first. Otherwise, I'll forget what I'm talking about. Um, Really, this is like our monthly call to cover off anything that you've kind of been doing during the month, but maybe you've got questions and you're thinking, oh, I'm really stuck on this listing or I'm really stuck on product choice. So whatever it is, please don't hesitate to ask any questions. Also, remember you have got the team always on the chat as well on WhatsApp for support. So between monthly sessions, if you are stuck, please don't hesitate to reach out to the team via WhatsApp and they will come back to you. If they don't personally know the answers themselves, they'll always come to me and I will give them feedback. So without further ado, I already have some questions in from a couple of people that can't attend the session. So it is going to be recorded. Please remember that everything we do on our group sessions, we always record and it gets put into the workplace where you guys go on and log in and you access all of the materials. So this is recorded and tomorrow we'll make sure it gets populated in our course material in there. There's now about 1.5 years of classrooms. So we've got at least about 16, 17 hours of content on live questions, live Q&As, real questions from real people. So if you are stuck at any stage, it's a really good place to like listen to the resources. Um, Obviously in module one, you'll find it's all about how do I find myself a winning product. So module one is all about picking that winning product. There is a formula to finding a winning product. Obviously, I take you through AMZ Scout. Um, that's a searching tool, a scouring tool to help your journey in finding a product a lot easier. We do have money off. I'll put that on the chat at the end in case you do want to sign up. It's also on the course, so you don't have to remember it. But it's a way of finding good products very easily. And there's now a new AI tool inside there as well. So it's a really great tool to use when you're looking for products. And you just follow the step by step. How do I find a winning product? How do I come up with ideas? And what do I really need to look for? So we look for good niche scores, good PL scores, and it walks you through step by step in module one. In module two, it's all about the pipeline. So it's all about now I've got the idea. Now I know that it's a good idea. People are searching for it. How do I now go and how do I now go and find that factory? How do I build up my pipeline to make sure that I can get a good supplier? I talk in depth about different suppliers, different countries, and a safe way that you can source product from overseas. And again, you can use platforms like Alibaba, Made in China. You've also got places like Global Sources. If you're doing something like a body product or a skincare or makeup, then you may want to also make in the UK. So there's plenty of suggestions and ideas on there. Again, if you find that you're stuck and you can't find the information you want, maybe you need a supplier in a certain country, then again, reach out to the team because I have a plethora of suppliers that we already work with for different brands. So, if there is something that you're stuck on and you can't find the right one, we can help you there. When you move into module 3, it's all about how do I now take my idea, the factory, and put this product together. Remember, we're not drop shipping. So we're not taking a product that's already selling and just becoming another seller of that product, because we want to make something unique. So we are taking our own product idea, we're going to source that, and then we're going to package it together. It may be in something you know a lot about. It may be just be something random that you found. It doesn't really matter as long as the profitability is there. That's when I talk about packs like this. We work on your artwork, we work on your branding, and that again will make up a full pack. So you'll have your product and your packaging. And then in module 4, it's all about how do I now progress? How do I now get these products into Amazon? How do I get my barcodes? How do I send the product directly from the manufacturer into Amazon? And then, of course, once it's in Amazon and we've created that whole listing, how do we then start to sell the product? So what are the steps when we get into Amazon? And that will be things like getting reviewers. So we'll subscribe to the Vine program, which is the early reviewer program within Vine. We will also make sure we've got A+ content and videos. So good evening, Margaret, by the way, you've just joined us. So really, they're the 4 sections in our teaching platform. Besides that, we've got the recorded classroom. So we've got, like I said, about 16 hours of classrooms. We've also got sections on hot trending products. We've got another section with monthly reports direct from Amazon. So talking about what new countries they're opening, what's doing really well, where the niches are, all of that good stuff. So there's loads of stuff to get lost in. But the main thing to know is that we are here. We are in the office every day. If you need us, you need to reach out to us. We're on UK time, the same time as you. I know, Jack, you're in the US, but that's fine. We know what we're working on, and I've given you some product ideas. Hopefully I can hear from you soon to see how you're progressing with your ideas. But yes, so just know we're here. And if you need us, please reach out to the team, and they will then come and speak to me if they don't know the answers themselves. I think we've already got a few questions. Hi to Margaret, how are you? Just joined us. I hope you're doing good. Let me just have a quick look in the chat, and let's see if we've got any questions in already. Okay, so first questions. Again, guys, feel free, like if you want to talk about something, one of your product ideas, if you want to get some, now's the time to ask. We can look at things together. So questions. What makes a good supplier? Right. Well, there's a number of things, and actually maybe I should get the Alibaba screen up and I can show you how I look for good suppliers. I think that'll be a good place to start. So let's get this up. And I can show you a deep dive. Let me share my screen. And we can have a deep dive into Alibaba. Now, again, when people think of Alibaba, they think, oh my God, it's China. Oh my God, oh my God. It's not just China. It's actually, you can search in Alibaba for suppliers in many different countries. You can look in the US, you can look in Vietnam, you can look in India. There's so many countries that are on the Alibaba platform. So please don't think it's just China. There's nothing wrong with China, but I know at the moment people are getting very worried about the taxes that Trump is putting on all the products. But remember, that doesn't directly affect us right now. And apparently they are doing a deal. The Chinese have come to the table and they're all doing a deal. And hopefully we'll know about that this week, because I do have some sellers in the US that it's affecting. But it's only for importing into the US right now. So we don't need to worry about that. We can still buy from China and import to the UK, Amazon, and we're not going to be affected by those import taxes. So please don't worry about that right now. We normally start here in the UK. Once we've got products set up and you're confident, we move to the US, because remember, the US is bigger. The US is about 10 times as big, 10 times the amount of sales, which is fantastic, but 10 times the amount of money that we need for stock. So remember, one equals the other. Jack, you may have some questions around the taxes and the imports today. I'm not sure. At the moment, we don't know a lot. A lot of my US clients are now sourcing from within the US. It's becoming a bit challenging with some of the products. Others, it's actually been all right. But right now, what I would say is don't panic, because I do think they'll come to a trade agreement. And therefore that hopefully those big import taxes won't have a big knock-on effect. At the moment, it's something crazy at over 200%. I mean, it's absolutely bonkers. So anyway, what makes a good supplier? Well, actually, there's quite a lot of things. When I come onto somewhere like Alibaba, there's a way that you can come on and you can just literally start searching. And we can search in the top toolbar here and just literally type in anything that we are looking for. So say, for instance, I am looking for, does anybody have a product want me to look for in particular? Anybody? Is anybody there? Okay, let's make one up. Let's look for a cat, um, litter, automatic self-cleaning. Yes, that's what we'll look for. Okay, now, not because I need one, but anyway, I just thought I'd look. So what happens is, doesn't matter, whatever you type in here, whether you're into gardening, whether you're looking for a baby product, whatever you're looking for, all you do is you literally type in the title, what you're looking for, and you hit search. What you'll see is it will populate loads and loads and loads of suppliers. Of course, a quick way to get around sort of just cutting them down, because at the beginning you've got so much choice that you just think, wow, like how do I ever get through like 200 suppliers? So what I like to do is come to this left hand column here, and what we do is we can search, we can basically cut down our search. So what I like to do is come straight into this product certifications. Now, we're probably definitely going to need CE. That's our CE, our conformity for to sell in Europe. Now, bit of a challenge, we left Europe. So now for some products, we actually require the UK CA certification. So if you're not sure, you can check the Gov website in the UK. So let's just check this box here, the UK CA, because it is actually taking over the CE mark in a lot of categories. What I would also say is you can actually search by supplier and region here as well. So if you want to just search in China, you can just tick that box. If you're not bothered at the moment where the suppliers are, keep that open. What I would say is as you get further down, I like to tick these boxes here, the management certifications. This gives us really a confident mind that these suppliers are really, really fantastic, because if they are living up to international standards, which is the ISO certification here, we know that this supplier is worth its weight in gold. So what I would simply do is I would tick the management certifications. This shows us that this factory is compliant with all international standards. So standards from how we would operate a factory in the UK to how they would operate in their country. And again, there's many types of ISOs. I go into it in a bit of detail in module 1, in module 2 actually. But again, all you need to do right now is if you tick that, you can be guaranteed that these factories are going to be up there, some of the best in these categories. The other one, if you are in the US, I would tick is the BSCI, because that is really about the custody of the chain, the supply chain that they work to, the standards, and it's very good for the US. So again, if I'm going to be bringing these products to the US, I probably tick that one right there. You can then see already that it's cut down so much of the suppliers. Yes, there's still quite a lot, but actually as you go through them, there'll be a lot less than they were at the beginning. What also you will see, you'll see the name here of the factory, and you'll also see, sorry, we've just got somebody's microphone. Oh, okay, it's off now. You will also see the factory name, and then you'll see how long they've been on Alibaba, and you'll see also the star reviews. The star reviews, I don't always go by them because it may be that they just don't have many, that people just haven't left reviews, because when you shop on here and you buy lots of product, sometimes you might buy eventually through a bank transfer and you might not actually trade through the Alibaba platform. So you might not necessarily leave a review. So reviews are not necessarily a good or a bad thing, I don't think personally. So what I would do then is I would just pick one you like the look of. So say you love the look of this kitty little box. I would then click into this factory. Now, straight away, can you see all of these certification marks here? We can see that it has CE. We can see that it has FCC. This is normally to do with electronic within a product. The ROS, the ROHS, the UKCA, UL is for battery sort of products, charging, BSCI, ISEO. I mean, SGS and TUV Rhineland, these are the testing certification houses. So just from clicking on this page, I know that this factory is going to be very, very good. I already know that because of the certifications. I know it because the level of the international standards, the certifications, okay? So then as we scroll down, what's really interesting is I can click on these buttons here. I could get a really good overview of the suppliers. I can even look into their production facilities and their QC. So how are they quality controlling their product, their chain of custody? And again, I can simply come down to look at their main products. So if I was looking for a smart cat little box that looks like it's even got app controlled, that would be pretty cool. Then this is their main product. So I would like to go to a factory where this is their main business. I don't want to go to a factory where I'm buying a cat litter automated cleaning tray if their main business is gardening and they just make a couple of them, because they're not going to be the best in their field. Okay, so hopefully that sort of helps you a little bit. The other thing then that I look at is I will go down and look actually at their certifications. And again, this is all there for you to see. So you can actually see so much just by delving under the skin, going into Alibaba, ticking those side boxes, going into the suppliers and really having a good look at the suppliers under the microscope. I can see they've got the ISO 9001, the BSCI. And if I really want to use this factory, I'd sort of zoom in and I'd check these certificates as well and make sure they all got the same factory name, for instance. But it looks to me that these are a pretty good supplier. And again, I read some of the reviews. Like I say, so I'm not too worried about the volume of reviews because, again, sometimes people just don't leave reviews. So yeah, look, excellent quality, highly recommended. And then I can see some of their videos and more of their products. So just by clicking on one page, that is all the information at your fingertips, okay? And what I also like to look at, and again, if you're thinking, right, I definitely want to do pets, we can start with AMZ Scout and we can do all our scouting, we can learn all of those things. But actually, sometimes you might have a few ideas and you might have started the product tracker like I teach you, but then you may just come into Alibaba and start having a look at factories, because when you sort of go into the product and you scroll down, they have so many products and you might just think, I want to just get some inspiration. And it is sometimes like going down a rabbit hole, but sometimes you can find such great ideas. So for instance, you could look at the new arrival products and you could say, okay, so what's now coming in automatic feeding? Oh, this machine here. You could then go back and check on Amazon. How's this doing? Look at the sales, look at the sellers. Is there room in the top 10? Has it got a good niche score? Has it got a good PL score? So there's so many ways around product research as well. Typically going into Amazon and doing your scouting, or going into the main database, as I teach you in module 1, but also coming through these platforms and actually delving into the product, looking at the factory, and then what other products do they do? So for instance, if we were still looking for the automatic litter self-cleaning box, again, we could come in here and we could literally scout, scour, scour, scour. And look, there's even more pages. And this is literally the first 2 pages. So it's pretty awesome. And then you can go back, you can look in their top picks, see what they're saying their top picks are. I didn't actually know this was going to be this way, but you know, um, look, dog feeding automatic. So if you're out at work, you can feed your cat or your dog automatically. The food comes out, boom, you know they're fed. Another thing off the list. How cool is that? And then again, you can look at pet water fountains, dog trainers, like pet hairdryer box. I mean, I never quite heard of a pet hairdryer box, but it sounds pretty fancy. So again, it's another way to get inspired. So you could get your ideas initially from the main database, go through the AMZ Scout, and then you could come all the way back and start looking for your factories. So this is just the first factory. Can you imagine? Already I'm thinking, oh my God, this is a brilliant factory. Anybody that wants to do pet feeding or pet cleaning. And then obviously you can just click back and go back into, just check that you are with me here. Go back into the main product. And again, you could just look through and see, is there anything different? Is there room for differentiation? I mean, obviously, if everybody was offering the same one, then pretty much you probably wouldn't do it, because how do you make it different unless you're going to offer it with all the accessories or the tools for cleaning and, you know, the litter and all of that stuff. So not necessarily saying this is a good product, but again, that one looks pretty diggy, doesn't it, with the blue inside. So again, just trying to find the factory that you like. So that's how I would start searching for a great factory in Alibaba. And what I would say is, if you wanted to use one of the other platforms, that is also possible. Okay, we've got some questions coming in fast and furious. So, Feluke, I'm going to come to you in a second. I'm just reading your question. Let me just show you another sourcing platform, and then you'll be able to see again how it differs, and then what we do when we go into there. So we'll look at global sources. And like I say, there's lots and lots of different sourcing websites. Another good way to find manufacturers is to go to trade shows. So if you think, well, I don't really want to source on one of these websites, one of these platforms, because everybody else might find the same product. Of course, that's the whole reason that we're doing private label, because we're going to make it different. But for instance, if you like stationery, you could go to like the stationery shows and find someone local that does all the stationery. Or, you know, if you're doing cosmetics, as you all know, that's my big background. So skincare, cosmetics, hair care, anything like that. Then again, there's loads of trade shows. There's Cosmoprof I've just come back from in Italy. Then we go to the US, we go to Hong Kong in November. So again, there's huge trade shows where literally all the factories are there. So there are some times when I use factories that are not on the platform. So there's a couple of products we're working on for clients at the moment that are on the courses, and they're now doing an upgraded program, a one-to-one with me. We're now using factories that are not on these platforms, but that's because I've already worked with them and I have those contacts. So when you come onto global sources, just check you can see my screen. Again, it's very, very similar. You have products, or you can use supplier drop down. So if you know the supplier name that you're searching for, you can literally hit supplier and then put in their name and search for them. Obviously, you just need to create a sign in. So always create a sign in an email, make it look professional, because the factories will be able to see your profile. So if you've got like a business email, it's better than, you know, K Colman 1974 5 at, you know, Hotmail. If you've got something that's a bit more professional, then obviously it does look nicer. It does look like you are a business. You can always create one in Gmail. They always look pretty professional. So again, if you're looking for products in here, so say you've got some ideas, you've done the initial scouting, you found a few products, and you're like, okay, great. Now I'm going to go and find them. So you might look in Alibaba and think, actually, I can't find anything in there. But if you can't find anything in there, then again, you could come here and you could look in here. So let's this time look for something completely different. Let's look for let's look at something gardening. Now, again, you know my feeling in gardening, it's a little bit seasonal in the UK. So probably wouldn't do a product in gardening unless you can find something that's not seasonal to begin with, because we want cash flow all year round. But we're just looking for a product right now. So again, if you are looking for this, you can see already some great products, great product ideas. And as you go through, there may be one that takes your fancy. So if you're looking and you think, oh, actually, I really like this one because it's also a chair, which is pretty neat, actually, isn't it? Like chair and tool. Again, just click onto it and you will see lots of images. They are loading. It's pretty slow tonight. Loading here, but there's also video. And then what you'll also see on the right is you'll see how much the products are. So this is basically saying that for 100 to 499 sets, it's going to cost you $13.99 a piece. Once you go over that 500 mark, it comes down to $13. So it's saving 99 cents. And then when you come to over 2,000 sets, it goes down to $12.05. Well, quite frankly, I'd just be ordering 100, I think, to begin with, just to try it out, because you're only going to save, even when you get to 2,000, you're only going to save $1.49. So quite frankly, it's not worth it. So you may find some lovely products on global sources that you can't on Alibaba. So always do check every site. Also, made in China is very similar to this as well. And then again, you can look at latest products from this supplier as well, doing lots of other things as well. So I wonder what they really specialize in, or whether they're more of a sourcing company rather than a manufacturer. It does say here they are a manufacturer, but again, it's quite interesting because these really aren't power tools, and it's saying they're power tools. So again, what I would do is I would click in here and be very nosy and start having a little poke around. I haven't signed in, so it's asking me lots of questions. So again, video showing what they do, hot selling products, cordless products, etc., etc. And you can see, okay, so bits of gardening, laser rangefinder, lots of ideas here. So you can see just by going into one of these suppliers, it opens up a world of possibilities and lots of ideas, from, you know, pressure washing your car to wrench battery toolkits to absolutely everything you can imagine. So again, you can send them a little request here. When you get into the sourcing module, I've put some templates in there, the kind of way that we speak to suppliers. So when we talk about MOQs, which is like minimum order quantities, the sort of language we use when we're looking at trade terms, or we're looking at Ex Works, FOB, all of those kind of things that maybe trip you up in the beginning and you think, oh my God, like, what does that mean? They're all covered in the modules. So again, it's really important to watch them and work through them. So again, whether you have a pricing which is Ex Works FOB or FOB is different, because if it's Ex Works, it's actually finished goods in the factory, and then you have to pick them up from there and get them to Amazon. If it's FOB, it's delivered to the port. And there's lots and lots of different things like that. And I give you some really quick, easy tips to begin with. And especially when we're sourcing less than 200 units for our initial shipment, we're going to do it DDP, which means basically you pay a price and it's all duty delivery paid into Amazon. That is the quickest, easiest thing that you can do without getting caught up in containers and less than container loads and all of that complicated stuff. You're only going to be doing a small amount initially. So that is what we do. And there are also workarounds with lots of things like, you know, not doing the full packaging to begin with, which we'll get into, but it will save you lots and lots of cost. Right now, I'm going to stop talking about factories and how you find a good supplier, because that was only my question one, and I've got 30 more questions. So I don't know if I'm going to get through them all, but I am now going to get to Feluke's question. So, Feluke, hello. I'm just going to read your question to everybody. I know you've mentioned Vine reviews. Um, how do I create A plus content for my products? I have 6 pieces to Vine review since the 7th of April, but there is no single sale yet. It is available to Prime buyers. Please advise. So Felipe, obviously to do a deep dive into your product, I would need the link to really have a look at it. If you've got
Okay.
reviews, what is the star count on the reviews?
Um, I've only I've only got back 2 reviews, and the first review was 5 stars. The second one is 4 stars. So I'm waiting for the remaining 4 reviews.
So how much was the first one? What did they give you?
5 stars.
Oh, brilliant. So you got 5 stars on the first one, you got 4 stars on
Yeah,
the second.
yeah,
What I would say, how is your pricing in your category amongst others?
yeah. The pricing is like the same within the same category, like
Okay.
39.99.
Okay. Have you started the ads for Luke?
Have I started
The ads.
the ads? Okay, I haven't done the ads. I've only just done the Divine reviews.
Okay. So what we do is Vine. So Vine is the
Yeah.
first thing. So for the people that don't know what Vine is, when you launch a product on Amazon, obviously Amazon does not know you exist. You could have the best product in the world, but Amazon just, you don't put your product on Amazon and literally become a millionaire overnight. You need to first get reviews. So that's why we enroll in Vine. It's a legal, legitimate way that Amazon allows us to get reviews for our product. What it does is, obviously you all know that if you're buying a product and it doesn't have any reviews, and then there's a product for the same price or better price that's got lots of reviews, you're probably going to buy that one because you know people like it. Whereas when something hasn't got a review, you think, oh, it looks good, but I'm not sure. That's why we need reviews. So we enroll in Vine. There is an enrollment fee when you do it. You can do it through the early review program on your Seller Central. You enroll, and then Amazon will send out products to their Vine voices. You cannot choose who they go to. There is a cost involved, anything from about £140 to 200, depending on your product, depending on how many you're going to send. Sometimes they allow you to send up to 30. Sometimes it's 10. That is at your cost. It will be sent from FBA out of your stock. The reviews then come in, and that's the kind of nerve-wracking part, to make sure we've done our job correctly, to make sure we've found a great product. It works, it doesn't fall apart, it's got great branding, and that more importantly, that people are going to absolutely love your product. Once you start getting 4 and 5 star reviews, you kind of know, okay, I'm onto something here. I've got this great product, people love it. Now we have to find out, how are we going to improve the ranking? Because you can imagine when you launch on Amazon, you're probably like 45,000 products in the ranking. It's crazy the amount of products that are on Amazon. So what's important is you need to start the ads to also lift the organic rank of your product. And we do that a number of ways. One of them is, once we've got reviews, enough reviews, we then will start the ads. And again, Amazon will start to lift your product up through the rankings. Then we'll look at the ads again and work out, do we need to have more complicated ads, or are we happy with what we've got? And that's when my ad team gets involved, and we really start to sort of boost the ads on steroids. We look at not just sponsored ads, but we look at, display ads, video ads, lots and lots of different things. But to begin with, Feluke, if you look at the module where I talk about the ads, and at the bare minimum, you should
Yeah.
be setting up the automatic and the manual ads, at least for the first couple of weeks. And within the ads, and I can show you in a second, within the ads, you can then see what people, you can directly see what people are clicking on and what is converting to sales. How much is that ad spending? You can set it. So you can put it £5 a day, £4 a day, whatever you want to do. And it will
Yeah.
show you exactly how much Amazon is spending. And you'll see what your ACOS and your TACOS, which is your total advertising cost of spend, is. So you can say, okay, they've spent £4.76 a day on ads, and I've got one sale of $39.99 or whatever you said your price of your product is. And again, then you can make the decision whether you up that budget and then whether you start more ads. So ads is something definitely I would start. I would maybe wait for a couple of more reviews, because ideally you want to have like 5 reviews at least.
Yeah.
We normally sort of try and send up like 20 products so we can get 10 good reviews. Then we'll start the ads, and then we'll really start deep diving into the ads, because remember, we also have an agency, so I have lots of specialists in my team as well. um, and we really then deep dive into the back end of Amazon, and we really look at, okay, what is how many impressions are we getting, like what can we do now to get more and more and more sales without it costing us too much. So let me just
Okay.
see.
Okay. Do I need to add more product to the Vine now then? Because I only did 6.
Yeah, I probably would, Felipe. Like, I would literally at least do 10, because you really, the challenges with Vine, they all should leave reviews, but they don't.
Okay.
So, I would say probably 7 to 8 out of 10 would. So if you've given 6, probably you're going to get 4 reviews.
Okay.
Um, so I think when you're looking at a product, I don't know what you think, but I would at least want like 5 reviews, because if it's like 1 or 2 reviews, it's kind of like, oh, you know. So I would definitely see if you can enroll some more product. Definitely.
Okay.
I would then start your ads, and then you need to work on the A plus content and obviously the video content. Do you have that at the moment?
Yes, I've uploaded the video.
Okay. Have you done your A plus content?
I don't know how to do that. I only did that through the Fivers some months ago for a different product, and that
Okay.
doesn't it didn't bring any sales to the product, even though I uploaded them. But yeah.
Okay, so for those of you who don't, I know there's some new people on tonight. So what I would say is, if we rewind, um, when you are selling your product on Amazon, there's a number. Let me just get one up so I can actually show you guys and you'll understand then what I'm talking about. Otherwise, you'll think I'm going crazy. Let me find something here. That's quite a good example. Let's find something. You know, when you try and find something with a good example, and then you actually click on it and you realize that's not a good example. But give me 1 second. Okay, this one's got A plus content. I'm not saying this is good. I'm going to show my screen in a second. I'm just checking it does have A plus content. It has brand store. Let's see. Come on, internet. Don't give up on me, please. It's taking a bit of time. It's telling me to wait. Okay, we're waiting. Okay, let me just re-go into Amazon because it's not liking this. Okay, let's have a look here. I am going to be showing my screen in a second. Let's close some of these windows down. Okay, I've got a good example here. So you're going to know so much about Amazon, guys. I mean, when you shop on there, you're going to be like, I'm an expert now. I know what I'm doing. So when you have a brand on Amazon, a product, shall we say, first of all. So it starts off as a product, really, but really what we want to build is a brand. That's a reason that we do a trademark. And again, I cover all of this, and don't think, oh my God, like I'm like, because the reason you need a trademark is so you can build a brand store on Amazon, and you can have video content and you can have A plus content. Some people call it EBC content, which is enhanced brand content. So at the very least, even if you don't have a trademark to begin with, you will get 7 to 10 images down here that you're allowed. And what we say in these images is the first one, 85% photograph of the product and only 15% white. And then the next products should show you like the size, any measurements, and they'll have information on them. So we call it an infographic. So it's graphics with information. Also some lifestyle. So like people with the product, if it's like a glass or whatever it is, like showing it in its real life. Because obviously it's different to when you go shopping and you touch all the products, you're not going to be able to touch the products. So you have to show them as lifelike as possible. So that's your real estate. And of course, we have our title, we have our bullet points, and we have our description. Okay, in that order. That's how the titles are most important, then the bullets and the description. If you scroll down, can you see where it says product description? This is what we call A+ content. This is more information about the brand, about the product. So really here, we're talking about not these beginning images, but you can see how this is talking about a year of stoic wisdom, a lifetime of peace. And it's given us more room to talk about the product. So, you may have like a chart in here, or you may be like old versus new version, why ours is so amazing. All of these different things. So look, putting it in the lifestyle, like just talking, these have obviously got a product, they support single parent project, which is fantastic. So again, and you can start talking more about your other products as well. So that's A+ content. So really, Feluke, what I would be doing there is, if you're happy with your initial images from the designer you used on Fiverr, I would create what you want with A+ content and then send them to the designer and say, I want to talk about this in the graphic 1, this in graphic 2, this in graphic 3. Don't let them come up with the ideas. Remind them of the images they did for you, what that talked about. And again, let them create the A+ content, and then you can just simply upload it. And those of you who, again, have got trademarks, you can build out a brand store, which is here. Visit the Messmos store here. You can click in and you can build your store out. So it's like having your own website within Amazon. So it is worth getting the trademark because, again, you've got your banner here, you've got your menu, and this is where you can cross-sell other products. Again, it's very slow on loading. We'll wait.
What about your team? Can I DM you to see whether they can do it for me?
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, if you need help, we can definitely help you. That's what we do. We look after brands on Amazon as well as having our students. So if you need us to help you do your A+ content and start your ads and look after your ads, we can definitely help you and we can definitely run that for you. No problem. We do have those services, guys. If you look at all of this tonight, I think, oh my God, I absolutely love it. I want to do it, but I'm only on the course. I want to do, you need more help. Then of course we can help you as much or as little as you want. If you just want to learn how to do it and run away into the sunset, then fantastic. You go do it, reach your dreams, your goals. If we can help you, fantastic. If you need help, like Lucas just said, actually I've got this far, which is brilliant that she's done it. She now may need a bit of help with her ads or whatever. We can also do that as well. So whatever you need, we're here to support your journey. More success you get, the more success we get, because obviously then you're going to go away and talk fantastic about us and tell other people, and then they come to us as well, and together we create huge success. Yeah, so that's really what you need to do, Feluke. So images, A+ content, you've got your Vine reviews, first 2 reviews, brilliant. Now we need to get more. And yeah, ads. Ads is what's going to help you. It may be initially that you need to reduce your price just under your competitor to get more sales, but we could tell you that by looking at your ads. In Campaign Manager, I'm just going to see if I can, my internet is terrible and I don't know quite why, because I do have fiber, but let me just see if I can sign into one of our Amazon accounts and I'll show you where the ads sit. Send me a code, please. Oh, very quiet tonight. It's a very quiet, studious class tonight.
I
Okay.
have another question that I wanted to ask.
You can ask away. We don't have any more
Yeah.
questions in the chat. I have some
Okay.
questions written down that I've got from people, but I don't have anything in the chat. So
Okay.
um,
There was a session that we did that you said you can show us how to order like the minimum like 200 uh, s- that we can list on Amazon, that we won't need to use the factory's package. And you say you will show us how to get other manufacturers to manufacture the packages for us or the packaging.
oh,
So I
I
would like
get you.
to know
Sorry,
that.
I was just
Yeah,
like, what? Okay, yes,
yeah.
I will. I will. Yes, I'll talk to that in a second. That's a very
Okay.
good point, actually.
So, because the one I did, I have to do 500 in a go. So, and it was too expensive. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like to
Okay.
know how to do that. Yeah.
You're talking about packaging.
Yeah, packaging and yeah. And then for me to be able to maybe just order the MOQ, say of 100, 200 we need to send to Amazon initially, and then to increase it if after testing the market, the product sell.
I've got you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. For some reason, it's not loading, so I'm not even going to bother trying to get in there. Okay, let's go to that question. So, after I can send you some recommended, or actually maybe when you've got your next task where you need
Yeah.
boxes or whatever, then I can
Yeah.
introduce you to one of the packaging factories in China
Okay.
that I use for cosmetics and lots of other products for my clients. So, what Paluke is asking, guys, is when you talk to a supplier, so say for instance, let me make this like something that you can see. So um, if for instance, someone, this is one of my products. So say for instance, I'm making this headphone and inside, I don't want to actually brand the headphones. I just want to keep it plain. And the supplier says to me, the MOQ, so the minimum order quantity for those is 100. So I think, oh, fantastic, that's great. But the minute I ask him about a custom box with my brand on it, he'll say, oh, that's 1,000 boxes. And the boxes are like $4 each. That's way too much. So what I would do in that instance is I would order the 100 of the headphones from that factory, but I would ask him for the cutter guide, which or the deco, which is basically this box flat packed. Let me see. I did have one here. Anyway, I don't know what it is. But basically, imagine a flat box. Then I would get my designer to do the artwork and then I would send it to my box factory. Now, my box factory might say, Kelly, we can do your minimum of 300 or 200, but I guarantee the price wouldn't be $4. It'd probably be like $1. And then what I would do is I would send that box to the other factory in China where they would then make the headphones and put it in that box. And therefore saving myself probably $3 a box. And I would have to make 1,000. I could probably make 250 and they'll keep the rest in stock for me. And then obviously I can send it into Amazon and it looks like a really nice branded product. So that's something that I do quite a lot because sometimes when you ask the factory the MOQ, they tell you the MOQ because of the carton box. If you say to them, actually, I don't need your box, I can use my factory, they then might say, oh, actually, then it's 200 or it's 50 pieces. Even if you then need to print that box elsewhere, it's super, super cheaper because I use factories that just do printing for a living. They're not making dog beds or cat litter trays or garden tools. There are printers in China, so you can imagine how much cheaper they are. So that's really what I do, and that makes everything easier and cheaper.
How then do we do the graphics?
The
Because you
graphic,
have to, yes.
the graphics, you need to have a flat lay, so you need to have the deco. Let me just grab it. I've got it here somewhere. I think it's falling down. One sec. So because the factory will have done the box before, they will have the cutter guide. That looks like this, okay? Then you take this and you think, okay, what do I want? So on the front, maybe a picture of your product or a window, the brand name, and you've already got your brand colors. And then you just make sure that you've got all your certification and your importer details. And then you literally just get the designer to design it, because by now they've done the logo, you've done your trademark, you've done your images, so you kind of know what you're doing. And then you lay it all out. And again, we can help you with that. This is what we do every single day. And then you send it to the printers. The printer makes it, shows you the mock-up. Yep, I like it. Prints it. We deliver it to the factory that's making the product. They pack it on the line and then they ship it to Amazon. It's as simple as that. And we've just made like a new perfume brand. We've got content creator kits. I mean, we're just, we've got loads and loads of products, and we tend to use the same printers because, again, that's all they do. They're not making product, they're making boxes, which keeps it a lot cheaper. Does that answer your question, my darling?
Yeah, that answers my question. Yeah.
Good.
So
Good,
which
good,
means that
good.
we would then have to find someone to do the pictures and all that we're going to list
No,
on Amazon
no,
for us.
not necessarily, because the factory should have pictures of that product. They should have
Okay.
high-res pictures. So they send them to you, and then you just literally get the designer to place everything. And then, you can change things around, make sure everything's on there, send it back. It's actually quite straightforward. It seems really complicated. You think, oh my God, like, how do I do all of this stuff? But actually, it is pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. It's like anything. You do it the first time and you're like, oh my God. And the second time is much easier. The third time you're like, oh wow, can't believe I actually was worried about this before.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. I have another question. We have 5 minutes left. Is there any more questions from anybody else? Let me just check the chat. Hello, Jack. How are you? Let's let's see here. Okay, I've got a question. Why is low review count important? Really good question. When you're looking for products, you want to see low review counts in the top 10, because if you have the top 10 when you're looking on Amazon and all the review counts are like 20,000, 10,000, 5,000, it's going to be impossible to get your products into that top 10. What you're looking for is some reviews around 100, maybe 50, under 500, because you imagine how long it took for Luke to get those first 2 reviews. Imagine you're competing against 10, 20 competitors have got thousands and thousands of reviews. Even with the best ad strategy in the world and the best product, it's going to be hard to break through in that market unless you've got a real point of difference. So therefore, we go for categories where the top 10 isn't really full of those thousands and thousands of reviews. And that's why low review count is super important. Another one, should I trademark now or wait? Trademark in the UK is £170. It's worth its weight in gold. I would say trademark now, because you can also build out to other products. And also you can do a name search before you do your trademark, really important. So yeah, I would do the name search, because you don't also want to start using a name that you can't get the trademark for down the line. And if your brand does do well and someone else sees it, they can get the trademark before you and you're scuppered. So I would definitely trademark from the beginning, and I would at least do the name search to know that you can get the name, even if you can't afford the £170. On the IPO directly on the government website, there's a way you can do split payments, 100 and 100, rather than 170 in one go. If that helps cash flow, that's always really good. Do I have any tricks on negotiating with factories in China? never accept the first price. And yeah, try to see what's involved, and if you can de-spec anything or you can not include something. Give them your workings out with FBA fees and ad fees and say, look, you know, we don't have any profit, we don't have any room here. Yeah, I mean, just you have to negotiate back and forward. It's a bit like buying a house. You know, you go there and you're like, okay, I want to buy this house, and then you go back and you say, actually, we want to offer this, and then they say that's too low. If you don't ask, you don't get. So every factory is different. That's what I would say. Do you need a barcode? You will need a barcode. Not right now, today. You don't even need a Seller Central account today. You just need to find the product first. But I tell you in the learning platform exactly when you need to order your barcode. So you need to go to GS1 and set that up. If you want to ship products directly to Amazon from a factory, how is the shipping cost negotiated? Great question, Margaret. What we do is we ask them for the DDP price, which is duty delivery paid, and they will give us a price per item. So they might say it's $1.05 per product DDP. DDP means duty delivery paid. I always do this for small amounts of product, so you haven't got import duties, VAT, taxes on import to the UK, because there's nothing worse than saying my goods have arrived, now you got to pay import duty, you got to pay the tax, you got to pay this, you got to pay that, and you're like, oh my god, I didn't account for that. Okay, so when you've got the DDP price, you know exactly what you're going to be paying. So if the product's $20 and you know the shipping is 1.5, then you know it's 21.5 delivered into Amazon. That's your first third. Your second third is how much then are my FBA fees, which you can work out before with the weight and the dimensions, and how much are my ads, and then the last third should be your third. So that's how we negotiate, and that's how we know how much the shipping is going to be. So we know all of this in advance of even really ordering a sample, because we need to work out, is it going to work? Is this product going to give me enough maneuverability, enough profit to give me a business? And that's ultimately what we're asking ourselves. Can this give me a business? So yes, anyway, guys, it is 9 o'clock. Any more questions before I close? Any more questions? Any more questions?
Oh, hello, how are you?
Hi, Jack. Very good. How are you?
Yeah, you tried to greet me before, so
You're
yeah, I
welcome.
just want to say
Thanks.
hi.
Good. Nice to
Yeah,
speak to you too.
nice to speak to you too.
Good. Okay, guys. So any more questions before I go? No? Okay. As always, I'm going to record it. I'm going to stick it into the learning platform. If you need anything, we are here. I am just going to put our number in the chat. If I can remember it. Yeah, I can. If you need anything, that's a number on. If you need any help with ads like for Luke, if you need any help with strategy or images, give us a shout as well. And remember, if you are going to use the scouting tool, use the code KellyAMZ and you will get money off your subscription. It has a new AI tool. I'm going to show you all about it next time. Not only is it the AI tool, we've got an AI product finder as well, which is game changing. So I'm going to love you. I'm going to leave you and see you next time. Bye
Thank
for
you
now,
so much.
everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
You're very
Bye.
welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, 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 bye.
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 Thank you.
Welcome. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
It's not leaving. Sorry.